Okay. Hey, y'all. This is Stevie with Redneck Economics. Tonight, I have a guest with me, my wonderful, amazing husband, James with Monotalk. Oh, let me just fix this real quick. Okay. Okay, so tonight, basically, I just wanted to go over the theater that was the debate. And I mean, it was absolute garbage, in my opinion. I don't really see what anybody had to gain from this at all. Um, we were the losers, as always. It was, I mean, nobody. If I had to pick a winner, how to be either one of them, it would have been Trump. And I don't even like the guy, right? So that's where I'm at with it. Oh, just a second. All right. So I took a few notes, just jotted down some important things. I might play some clips. James, would you like to come on, say a few things?
Yes, sure. Can you hear me? Over. Do you copy? Anyway, thank you once again for being on the show and having me on your show. The fantastic and always beautiful Stevie with Redneck Economics. Okay. Yeah, I just, to sum it up, it was a debacle. It did nothing for anybody. It was just, like you said, in a brilliant sentence, it was watching two turds arguing about who stunk the most. It's fucking, it was ridiculous, but that's where we're at. I mean, the options are nil. It's not good. It's bad. And I was talking to some guy in a liquor store today, and he agreed with me. He said, "This is what we've done." I mean, I take full responsibility of this. I've been voting like an idiot for way too long. I think everybody else has too. So if you believe or think that you're not responsible for this, some of you are. I would say the majority of Americans are responsible for what they saw out there. And what I saw out there was just two pieces of shit, just like two monkeys throwing shit at each other at the zoo. If you've seen that, it's comical, and it happens. But I really think there's a lot to pick out of it, and most of it is in our favor, right? I mean, that's what you were. Yeah. So I mean, if you're going to run the most powerful country in the nation, I think you would probably conduct yourself a little bit better. That goes on both sides. And the other thing is, you would offer your constituents and the mass of people that are, you know, hoping that you're going to do the right things, offer them something that's helpful. And that didn't happen. None of that was brought up, really, nothing. But you're, it's important to know that there are still some options out there, believe it or not. Some things that I'm working on, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, that's pretty much my take. It's ridiculous. It's lame and stupid.
Yeah, I mean, like usually, we don't really pay attention to too much of the theater, just because, I think we try to direct our focus on actually, like, I don't know, making a plan, doing some actions, things like that. But uh, to totally ignore it would be a disservice to everybody, because, I mean, the fact of the matter is people do watch it. Whether or not it changes their opinion on anybody, that's a different thing. But I think mostly people's minds are made up before they watch the debate. They just kind of watch to see, their guy, kick ass or whatever. But so just to start off with, let's start with some of the good points that Trump made. So, either one of them saying that either one of them made a good point really sucks. But
In no particular order.
yeah, no particular order. But Trump actually made a really, an excellent point about Biden, which was, Biden was trying to call him out on, not paying his taxes, right? They're poor shaming Trump. They're literally saying, well, he doesn't make as much money as he says he does. And, trying to make it out like he's struggling or something. He's not struggling, that's for sure. But he didn't, yeah, of course he didn't pay any taxes, and neither did any of his friends or colleagues. So, but anyway, he's calling him out on his, not paying taxes. And so Trump just said that basically those were the tax cuts that Biden passed. He's just taking advantage of the tax breaks that Biden put into law. And then right after that, he brought up the point that, he's freeing people from jail that Biden had locked up. Now, I think that was an excellent point. That was an excellent point. Just saying that, I'm echoey. Probably because I'm talking too loud. So I'll just try to keep it close to my mic because we're about, 10 feet apart, but it echoes in here. So I'll try to keep it in the mic.
Turn off the, hold on. Just keep going.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, he really did. He was strong in the fact that he was pointing out Biden's hypocrisies and his failures. He pointed out his lies, which is something that Biden didn't do with Trump. I mean, we know that Trump lies, just like Biden lies, just like all of them lie. Okay, they all lie. But Biden didn't really call him out on that. I mean, he called him a clown a couple times and, well, you didn't pay any taxes, this, that, and the other. But, nothing really concrete. Trump actually pointed out real examples of how Biden has done all these things. He pointed out the crime bill. And he's talking about the things that he's done. Now, whether or not, it goes far enough, of course it hasn't. It's not like Trump is some kind of, beacon of progressive values, but he made a good point which is, that he's done more in 47 months than, Biden has in 47 years. So, and what has he done in 47 years that wasn't making things worse for us? He hasn't. I mean, he's taking care of his rich friends and locked up poor people, locked up Black people. What are your thoughts? Or do you have any thoughts on that? So yeah, so one of the worst moments for Trump was when he was asked about, racism and, the Proud Boys, which, Trump does have a history of racism. Now, his racism is more on I wouldn't say like a regular person's racism. I mean, it's more than that, of course, because he has all this money to put towards literally screwing people over. So yeah, he ran that ad. He it something to do with his workers, like anytime like a racist, wealthy person came into his casino, he would clear the floor of the Black people that dealt cards or whatever. So he does have a very troubling past with that, but nothing, I mean, compared to the oppression and pain that Biden has inflicted on people, because he has done things systemically to make sure it wasn't just one time. This is a years and a system of racism. Joe Biden helped create that. He helped strengthen that. So yeah, they want to sit there and point fingers at each other, but I mean, about what? Trump's calling Biden out for being a liar, and Trump is a liar himself. Everybody is calling the kettle black, both of them, both parties. Nobody's a winner in this, except for the stockholders, as always.
I think we're fixed on the mic.
Okay.
Let me just go ahead. If you don't mind, I want to kind of chime in.
Yeah, please interrupt at any point, or not interrupt, but chime in.
In the chat, we have some brilliant people as usual, and a great comment I just read from Peter Maranzi. I hope I'm saying that correctly and not chopping it up too much. Is Trump's racism is mainly a matter of holding onto his base. That's true, no doubt, because a lot of those people I think there was a study done, and it was, I think, a third of the Republican base are racist, don't know they're racist, or they're just fucking extremely racist, which is sad. Biden is a matter of profiteering, which is true. Kamala Harris falls right in line with that, as private prisons. Hillary Clinton helped, knock that out of the park. And then the crime bill, of course, was to make profits for a lot of money and donors, so that eventually these people get re-elected. And when it all comes down to it, I mean, I could just drop the mic by saying, "Hey, we got to get money out of politics," Ba-doom. And that's it. That's the big, gigantic purple elephant gorilla in the room that a lot of talk show hosts and other YouTubers and many people just never bring up enough, is the fact that it's the money from the corporate elite 1% that is basically manipulating our supposed public servants. And it just doesn't get talked about enough. It should be injected or displayed or conveyed by everybody all the time. I'm talking about Jimmy Dore. I'm talking about Kyle Kalinske. I'm talking about Mike Figueroa. I'm talking about Jamal, the Combo Couch, Fia Pasta, Isabella or Pasta. I call her Fia. But anyway, that's something that needs to always be hammered away at. I don't think we would have these candidates with just fucking numbskulls. Obviously, I don't know what the fuck Biden took last night, or what he was injected with, or what mechanical mechanism making that man's mouth moved pretty well with drug, but he didn't do a bad job. He pretty much held his ground. I just didn't see Trump do anything as vicious as I thought he would. It's almost like I was watching Bernie Sanders debating. I mean, he said a few things, but he got called a clown once or twice by Biden. He was told to shut up by Biden. It's like, dude, knuckle up and punch that fucker in the mouth. And that didn't happen. I was like, I was kind of like Donald Trump. It seemed like he was fucking asleep. He was just kind of kicking back the whole time. His look on his face was like, I'm like, dude, you're in a fucking. This is your perfect time to go after a pedophile, freak, idiot, nutcase, lying sack, just looking in the mirror, basically, and I just didn't see it. Now, I'm saying that Biden won, and I'm not even saying that Trump won. I'm saying it one came with some game, which was kind of surprising. I was just like, what? And then the other, he interrupted. Trump did interrupt. He did a few things, said a few things, but I mean, all he's got to do is watch fucking uh, Crystal Ball and Cigar Jet, or just, I mean, to get just a few fucking curveballs in his arsenal. And like Jimmy Dore, fuck, watch Jimmy Dore. He could have. The thing that I'm saying is, I really and truly believe that whoever Trump's publicity experts or publicity or advertising or marketing gurus or speech writers or the people that informed him or prepped him for um, this debate should be fucking fired. I mean, and he's just the guy to fire him because that's what he likes doing, and firing everybody in his cabinet, firing people in his administration. And then I think he should get rid of this fucker because he didn't have the ammunition that he had talked about over and over and over. And then I'll turn my fan off. Over and over and over again for years in regards to going after the Democratic Party. They're both, honestly, they're both very, I mean, get me up there, get Stevie up there, get Peter up there, get Dax up there, get Mark up there, get everybody in this chat up there. And I guarantee you, we would have these idiots fucking pissing their pants and shitting in their fucking depends. There's no, it would totally fucking happen. But you just have two fucking numbskulls up there just shamefully, embarrassingly, sadly representing this country. It's other countries were watching that and just going, what the fuck? They're just, oh my God, they're all sitting around with popcorn or tortillas or chips or nachos or hummus or whatever they're eating around the world. And they're just watching this and going, these are the fucking people that they have to choose from? These are the fucking idiots? Oh my God, it's so fucking sad. Anyway, I mean, all I know is it is money in politics, right? And Peter's saying right. It's almost too late. I think I've said this in my show a few times, is we're at the point where it's the 99% pretty much eat the rich physical revolution. Not against each other. If the right understood what's diabolically happening right in front of them, which most of them don't, and most of the Democrats don't either. They just don't understand. And the greatest term, I think it was paraphrased in some way by Mark Twain, was, it's easier to fool somebody than it is to prove to them that they've been fooled. And I am constantly fucking doing this on Facebook and Twitter and my show, and it's exhausting. It is fucking exhausting. I mean, I'm watching Jimmy Dore tonight, and he just doesn't want to do his shows. I mean, he's literally flat out said on many recent occasions, "Hey, Dan, welcome. Dan, welcome." He's so fucking done with all this, but he's talking about surface shit that, in my opinion, are just rerun, broken record issues and topics that fucking happened in 2015, 16, 17. It's almost identical. You have a piece of shit Democrat against a fucking piece of shit Republican. Turds, two fucking turds. And here we are again, two fucking turds. And it's just amazing how malleable and how meek and obedient and extremely manipulative or easily manipulative the U.S. voting republic is. It's just, it has got to be the most terrifying thing and the most disgraceful thing I've ever witnessed. It's just really sad. Did you want to add on to this, or are we going to a segment or something? Or
Yeah, I just wanted to add in that, at any point, if either one of them was actually honest, that they could have destroyed their opponent. If either one of them had any ounce of integrity or decency or honesty, they could have went step by step and pointed out the other one's flaw. But neither one of them could really do that too much because they're both guilty of the same things. They've both done the same things. The only problem is that Trump doesn't have a political record to look back on. Biden does. Biden has 47 years of what he's done. And what is that? Make things worse. So, yeah, I mean, while Trump doesn't have the record that, Biden does politically, he does have 4 years. And in that 4 years, yeah, he's done a few things to undo, some of the bad things that Biden's done, but not that he cares at all. It's just, political stuff. And if he did care and wanted to fix things, he would do a whole hell of a lot more than what he's doing right now. I mean, both of them, he's talked about he fixed the broken military as if the military was starving for funds. It definitely is not. And now, Biden wants to increase the military spending. He wants to increase, police spending, which I'm not really one of those people that thinks that just defunding the police is going to really help, because where they have civil forfeiture, they're legally allowed to keep any kind of anything they seize during a drug bust. They keep 100% of the profits from. So they are incentivized to go out and bust people for drugs, right? Which is probably one of the easiest things that they could, plant evidence for. Just show up somebody's house, shoot a couple of people and throw some cocaine on them. I mean, you've seen that. We've literally seen body cam footages of policemen doing this. And so, simply taking their funding away doesn't really help when they can just make it back by cracking down on the people that took their funding away, especially, So I don't really see, it seems very, I don't know, not very long-term approach. Also, Biden wants to, he doesn't want to say, law and order like Trump, but he believes in it. He wants to increase the spending for police. And Trump did call that out. He said, if you can't say law and order, because if you do, you'll lose your radical left base. As if Biden has a radical, Biden, the radical lefty that Biden is, that doesn't want to provide health care or a living wage, that wants to increase spending for the military and the police, the one that passed the crime bill and really cemented institutionalized racism, into our laws. That Biden, he's such a radical lefty. He's a radical lefty. It's just insanity. He's using the dog whistle. Both of them were using dog whistles. Oh, you're a racist. You're a racist. Oh, you don't do this. Well, you and your Antifa, you and your Proud Boys. They're both not a real threat. We have the U.S. military. You think Antifa is going to take on really going to destroy the system in America? Do they hear themselves talk? How dangerous and scary Antifa is? Antifa. Yeah.
Antifa is a bunch of
because, Antifa has all these, jet planes and bombs and billions of dollars in funding. They're just a bunch of people that are just looking for something. Same as the other side, they're just all looking for a meaning and purpose. They found meaning and purpose in fighting against fascism, and so there's people on the right that find meaning in, being a racist asshole. So, yeah, they're not. They act like there's some kind of like Antifa, some kind of secret underground, militarized radical left. It's just a bunch of people that just want to go out and do something for some reason. I think it's a pretty worthy cause to fight against fascism. But if we're going to talk about fascism, let's go back to Bill Gates. Obama he really paved the way for fascism. I mean, you've got people on the left instituting fascism to stop a fascist.
I'm going to share.
Okay. So that's what they're trying to do. So the left is being fascist. And by left, I mean the people that run like Facebook, YouTube, the Democratic Party. They're all about their fascism when they're doing it because they don't want the other guy to do fascism. That's wrong. So now they're going to commit it. And I was telling James about this earlier. I was like, they sound just like Anakin. Oh no, I can't have Padme cannot die. Nobody else can kill Padme. I won't let anybody kill Padme. And then he goes and kills her himself. And then he's like, well, I did my job. Nobody else killed Padme, like I kept somebody from killing Padme, except for him. Like he's the one that did it. Like, that is the Democratic Party right now. We will defeat fascism with fascism. That's not how any of this works. And it just makes you feel insane when you watch these two fucking weenies just yelling at each other and talking over each other. And the rest of the world sees this and they think this is the best that we have to put forward. They think that this is the best of the bunch, and it ain't. It's the bottom of them. I would rather pick anybody at random, any American at random, and put them on that stage. I would feel luckier, better, more represented by picking a total stranger out and putting them on that debate stage rather than any of those people. And of course, the ones that do represent us, you never get to hear about them. So you wanted to share something?
Yeah. I would grab somebody in a crack house and put them on there. That's what I would do. I would grab, somebody in AA. I just walk in and, hey, you come here. I got a debate for you. Who am I debating? Donald Trump and Joe Biden. No problem. They'd probably go, fuck yeah, I'll do that in a second. It's fucking pathetic. And let me just share this. And she was talking about fascism, and this recently happened. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me get out of the way here. So I go after both of them. I don't know if I know she's just similar in where I am. Fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, screw the Libertarians. Sorry, they're just not doing it for me. They're like a prelude or just a step away from the Republicans, in my opinion. And definitely now that Howard Hawkins has taken the fucking the helm of the Green Party, I left. That guy's just a piece of shit, and maybe one day we'll go into that. But so when I posted this, Jeff, like 3 or 4 days ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, I posted that Joe Biden. I just posted a video and I said Joe Biden called the troops stupid, and then the independent fact checkers at USA Today, right? Those fucking people are all about. And if you, I mean, the Atlantic, the Huffington Post, the LA Times, the list goes on and on how biased these people are. I just basically put the video up and then they took it down. The independent fact checkers, so they don't have responsibility for it if something bad happens. I don't know why they call them independent, because it's your fucking company, you piece of shit Zucker fuck. So I just simply wrote, so this actually happened. This was pretty recent. Joe Biden was in front of a bunch of military people, and I'm an ex-vet, Navy vet. My daughter was a staff sergeant in the Air Force, stationed in the Middle East doing her deployment right now, which is fucked up in like 110, 120 degree weather. And this fucker comes out and says, blah, 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 you stupid bastards, because they didn't clap or something. It's like, who the fuck says that? Who in their right mind even begin to think or cognitively call troops stupid bastards? Jokingly, unjokingly, seriously, or not? It's just fucking ridiculous. So I put this on, and here comes the fascism. And I've had so much shit taken down because I'm not with Biden. I mean, everything I've said is Biden. I mean, excuse me. I mean, if everything I had said is in support of Biden and not in support of Trump, I mean, it doesn't matter what I say. Okay, let me just go over this and I'll get to something I actually did post that was fucking funny. So I simply said, tell me Facebook isn't biased. This is an opinion by these independent fact checkers and a fact. This is a fact, and this is their opinion. From their opinion, they're basically telling me I can't put that up, even though it's a fact, and they're actually, in a sense, and this is from my completed observation, scientifically in a sense, but it's right there. It's black and white. The guy fucking said it, right? And so, yes, I say, yes, thank you for verifying that he called our troops stupid fucking bastards. Not stupid fucking bastards, but he said that, right? And that's just fucked up. So they took me down for that. The funny thing is, and it's still up, and I should find it, and I'll bring it up later, hopefully, if I can find it, is I put up a little, not a montage, but a bullet point with a paragraph bullet point in regards to COVID, that it causes brain damage, deterioration of the brain, all these side effects that were really terrible and bad. And where I got those side effects, where I got that piece and the information that I put up that they still haven't taken down in regards to COVID and how bad it is, was fucking from methamphetamines, the side effects of methamphetamines. And they still haven't touched that. So you can say that COVID-19, if you get it, your fucking limbs will fall off. But if you say shit that's actually factually there, and they've even confirmed it, they're going to take you down. Now, the fascism and the censorship that's happening in social media and fucking pretty much everywhere is just, I mean, we're in a police state and everybody knows it. If you think that you're free in this country of what it supposedly used to be, you're the NDAA, the Patriot Act, and Obama and everybody fucking pitched in. Snowden said, I mean, they can look at all your shit. Julian Assange has told us all. They're pretty much corralling us, like they're hurting us to fall off these cliffs. And the sad thing about it is they're totally being manipulated. I listen to Ben Schwann. I listen to, I even watch a little MSNBC. I watch Fox. I want to take everything the way I do it as a grain of salt. And then I'll take that salt and I'll go, ooh, that's really salty. And then I'll look into it, or I'll taste it. I'm like, nah, that's nothing. It's just not that it fits the narrative I'm trying to put out or convey, or to, shut down people's brains, shove in their brains. I'm just trying to find out if it comes to me and I see it, I'm going to say, hey, does this make sense? This just doesn't seem right. So I'm going to look into it a little deeper. And that's what everybody should do. We should, no person, I mean, if it's vile, pornography, I mean, just really heinous, crappy shit. There should be a somewhat a bit of a restraint. But even with that, let me decide what I want to watch. Let me decide, because obviously they have to fucking hold my hand for me to be able to. I keep looking down here with that. Let me put it up here. Let me decide on what I think is best for my brain. Let me decide. Let me know. Let me make that cognitive decision or choice to observe it, analyze it, research it, investigate it, do my due diligence. Like I always say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know, thank you, Ice Cube. Good stuff, by the way, recently. And they're doing this constantly, and they've been doing it for a long time. They're trying to, well, they're not trying, they're doing it. They're curbing our thinking. They're dumbing us down. I mean, this is old news, honestly, what I'm saying. But so many people just don't even can grasp it. They can't. It's the ego that's out there. No, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I watch Rachel Maddow. No, I know what I'm talking about. I watch Sean Hannity. No, I know what I'm talking about. You know, I listen to Jimmy Dore, whatever the case may be. You know, I've even taken Jimmy Dore to task, which for some reason he won't talk about COVID, because I think he doesn't want to get fucking demonetized. I really believe that's got to be the issue. And he lives in California, and he's a Californian, and a lot of those people in California are fucking pretty well brainwashed, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not there. The best reason is the person that's on the show. But to kind of sum this up is we can't allow this to happen. But this is just insanity. And I'm saying we need to hit the streets. The 99% need to hit the streets together. You know, keep your guns, just be smart with them, right? Keep your fucking harvest your water from the rain. Speak as you want and do as you want, but if you're not hurting anybody physically, socially, then I think that's more of the American way than anything, instead of this deceptive, fascist, tyrannical, subjugating, oppressive system that we have right now. Is just crazy. And honestly, guys, gals, everybody, I don't want to talk about this. Behind me is I took a clip of, it's the Eagles against the Vikings game. There's your audience. A bunch of cardboard fucking figures. That's your audience. That's fucking ridiculous. This has just gotten way, all of it has gotten so extremely out of hand. And it's like we just seem powerless. I swear. It's like you got, what was that movie, Network, right?
Yeah.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take anymore. This is that time. This is that fucking time. Not against Trump, not against Biden, against all of them. And they're fucking, they're pimps, the corporate elite 1%. Take them all down. Take them all down. I mean, they've got to be removed. I mean, if you guys saw what's going on in fucking Hawaii, they're the strictest state. Hawaii is the strictest state because they're making, I can't even get, I could go on and on and on. But anyway, I'm going to turn it I still got this up. I got to take that off. I got to turn that off. Honey, just yell at me and say, turn it off. Because I can see myself talking, right?
Oh,
I can see myself talking. Just say, hey, turn that shit off. Because not that they want to hear me, not that they want to see me, but you know, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm usually the guest on your show, and for once you're the guest on mine, so I'm just kind of, letting you have your piece because, I can't believe it's taken this long. It's just out of pure laziness that I have not figured out how to do Zoom and connect that to my YouTube and all that. And it was super easy, and I should have done it a lot earlier. Yeah, and so we're gonna have more guests on. I'm gonna have open mics again, which would be great. I can't wait. I know man, it pissed me off so much that the last time I did a live stream, I think it was the last time, Cheryl tried to jump on, but I couldn't do it the way that I had it set up. And I love having her on. She's always got something good. So hey, Andy. Yeah. Usually I'll grab the mic when I'm on his show. I'll just grab the mic and I'll go for like 20 minutes. So, I'm letting him have his turn. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go over to, I got a clip to show you of Biden. And I think this is very important and very relevant. Let's see how to do, there it is. Screen share.
You turn off your.
I'm doing
you
screen.
minimized your Zoom.
I'm doing screen share.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Try to figure this out. Okay. Yes, there we go. Okay. Okay. Screen share. We go to this. Okay. Share with computer sound. We're good.
I am the Senate.
Oh. How do I end share? All right, I see it. Okay, well, that was a dramatic interpretation of Biden right there. No, I'm going to it now. Let's see. Here we go. Share screen. Share with sound. Yes. Okay.
Party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
now. I am,
and they're going to dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the
Not according
Democratic
to
Party
Harris.
is what I, in fact, approved of. What I approved of. Now, here's the deal. The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about this.
I'm happy to talk about
and
this.
if you were here, it wouldn't be 200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban
All right, gentlemen,
Europe, which was heavily infected. You would have been much later, Joe.
That I won. We're saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
It's not what you said,
But
and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply
your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
Right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the
Not according
Democratic
to
Party
Harris.
is what I, in fact, approved of. What I approved of. Now, here's the deal. The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200 million, the 200.
Okay, I think that's enough of that. But what I'm getting at here is that what I'm getting at is he wants to boast that he's so drastically different than Trump. Trump's going to ruin this country, even though it's been a dumpster fire for I don't know how long. So he says that Trump's going to ruin the country. We have to vote for him because he's better, right? Well, he says I am the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is me. He is the one that did the platform that the DNC stands on. Joe Biden. So I don't care how many anti-fracking commercials he comes out with or how much he talks about a Green New Deal. The fact of the matter is the DNC's platform does not represent anything like that. So he's just admitted that the DNC platform that is directly opposed to all the things that he was talking about was created by him. It was his idea. Now, we know that he has a long history of lying, so God only knows who actually did it. But he's claiming that. He's claiming that is his, bragging about it. Meanwhile, it's nothing. It is nothing like anything that he was promising people, if he did promise anything at all. I mean, when he was directly asked about the Supreme Court, he dodged that. He dodged it. He said, well, vote for me. What the real question is, you know, the real answer is you should vote. You just got to show up and vote. And it doesn't matter what my plan is. Because if he had somebody that was really good, that people really wanted, that really represented them, he would have said it right then and there. But he didn't. Because he knows that his person that he's going to put up is going to be just as shady and corrupt as the person that Trump's putting up. That there's no difference. If he would have put a name out of an actual person that he planned on doing, getting into the Supreme Court, it would be pretty much the same as Trump's, maybe worse, because he can get by with it, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I mean, that sums up pretty much everything in politics right now, right? Both of them are lying. Both of them are corrupt. Both of them, are manipulating people. The dog whistles. It's just insanity to me that either that we haven't started burning shit down on a large scale level. I don't understand. When you have got millions of people that have been evicted, how are they not burning shit down? How is this happening? I mean, I guess most people are, focused on surviving, that they don't have the extra time or the energy to dedicate to this, because literally there's millions of people out in the streets right now trying to figure out how to put a roof over their heads and how to put a roof over their kids' heads. There's millions of people out there right now trying to figure out, how am I supposed to work full time and be a full-time teacher to my kids? And the answer is, you don't get to do that. You pick one or the other, which, if you're homeless, honestly, what kind of education that you dedicate to your children? You can't even do that then. So, you're better off just at least going to work. Your kids don't get to learn anything, and, whatever, at least they have a roof over their heads. I mean, the whole thing is just sick. The fact that we've been tuned into this stuff, it's just all of it's so wrong. We have the worst of us. And why? The things that they brought up tonight, real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to James. The things that they're talking about tonight: climate change, racism, workers' rights, healthcare. Oh, wait, they didn't bring up workers' rights. And they also didn't bring up Julian Assange. They didn't bring up Edward Snowden. They both agree not to talk about that. They both agree not to talk about that. But the things that they did bring up, we have been fighting, both parties, to get for us for at least a century. Ending racism, that goes back centuries and centuries. Climate change, they've known about that for at least 100 years. But the oil, companies brushed it underneath the rug, paid people off to not talk about it, right? Workers' rights. 100 years ago, we were doing the mine wars here in West Virginia. And what's changed since then? Military industrial complex. Smedley Butler talked about that. War is a racket. And yeah, and where are we at? It's gotten worse. Everything that we were fighting for then, we haven't even made any headway in most of it, because okay. So the one thing that we could really point towards would be probably the civil rights movement. But after they gave Black people the right to vote, what did they start doing after that? Locking Black people up at a record rate, and then saying that felons can't vote anymore. So they just stripped them of the vote all over again. Plus they get a bonus of slave labor out of it. And we might have had a chance before the CIA. We might have had a chance, like a really strong, good chance that you could just go out there and talk to people and get the word out and vote or whatever, and get the things that we wanted. But since the invention of the CIA and the shadow government, the NSA presides over our elections. It's not even about Republican or Democrat. It's not about any of that stuff. That's what it comes down to. Shareholders and whether or not the CIA will go along with it, which they're the ones that created Facebook and Google. They're the ones they created the ones that are instituting fascism. They put these politicians in place. We watched it in 2016 when they threw away the votes. We watched all this. They threw away votes. They switched people's parties. They did all this stuff. And then they say, well, turn up and vote for Biden. After they robbed us of a vote. So you can imagine that not a lot of Democrats are incentivized, or lefty people are incentivized to go out there and vote, because the last time they did that, they threw away their ballots. They weighted their vote, threw it out completely, switched their parties, put in voter ID laws and other things like that to make sure that the people that were going to vote against them, their vote didn't matter. They have ways of canceling that out. And that's just in the primary states, like the ones that, or the swing states. If you're not a swing state, you might as well just send your vote out into the wind. That's it. That's as good as you're going to get it. There's no confirmation number. There's no way of going on and looking and seeing whether or not your vote was counted. No way of that. I mean, you can buy a pack of gum and it will tell you every step away, your gum is now in Kentucky. Your gum is now in New York. Now it's on an airplane. It's being shipped over. And now it's landing in Charleston, West Virginia now. I could do that with a pack of gum, but I don't know where my vote is. I have no way of knowing that it was counted. It's insanity. And you expect people to take that kind of system seriously, like it fucking matters? It doesn't, when that's all you're doing. When you're just casting a vote into the wind of the lesser evil. Now, I think there should be real system reform. I say we should do like what these 1%ers do, and that's cut out the middleman. I think we should cut out that middleman. I think that we should go and be able to hold elections for ourselves. We should be the ones with power, not them. And we should have a way of checking those things, that when we cast a vote for whatever policy or leader, that we know that it was counted in the right way. We need a system of verification. There's no verification in this whatsoever. And another thing, real quick, Trump said that there was a West Virginia voter a West Virginia postal worker that was throwing away ballots. That is partially true. There was a postal worker that was caught switching people's parties from Democrat to Republican. So he's talking about how unfair it is to him, but literally the person that he's calling out for being caught doing this stuff was actually helping him out. So, and yes, he can do things with the post office and things, and to make sure, and we know for a fact that Democrats especially now, are voting more and more by mail, that the Republicans are more likely to show up and vote in person, right? So yeah, he has a pretty big incentive for, screwing things up for the post office. Okay. But at the same time, you've got, the Democratic Party, hey, they're not new to this. They got their own system. Look what Hillary Clinton did in 2016. So we know their tactics. The Democrats do it, the Republicans do it. And then like the whole debate, they point at each other and saying, no, you're the one smelling up the room. They're both made of shit and blaming each other for smelling up the room. That's where we're at. So, which brings me back around to, yes, we have something that we're trying desperately, to bring people in on. We've been working our asses off on this. We have been working. I mean, especially James. He has been nonstop. I mean, I have other things that I have to do, like, I'm now a full-time teacher and things like that, but he has been absolutely 100% dedicated to researching all this stuff and putting it out there for non-party voters, which, yes, I say, the system is broken, it's corrupt, and that's why we're trying to get this, movement up and running, because we want to make sure that, yeah, we want to make sure that our votes actually count. That's like the foundation of democracy. If you don't have that, then you don't have a democracy. So we're looking into ways and to try and fix the system. Try to make sure that we have people worth voting for, and that after you vote for them, that your vote is actually counted. It's a two-part process. One is reforming the election process itself, and the other is making sure that after you walk out of that voting booth, that it's counted and accurately. So because that's the big problem, is that one, we're not given people that are actually worth voting for. We keep voting for, which enemy we think that we can take on the best. And then even after we vote for the lesser of two evils, they still have a way to make sure that the greatest of evils gets in office. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to James, because I think that you could more specifically nail down the things that non-party voters is trying to achieve.
Yeah, I don't want to plug in this commercial too hard. I basically just want to let you all know that there is another way to get their attention. The parties, in my professional opinion and from my research, can be easily, and whether you're for the Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, or the new party that's starting, which is the People's Party, Movement for a People's Party, which in the beginning they said they weren't going to be a party, and then all of a sudden I guess they're going to be a party. But it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when. When are they going to be compromised? When is that going to happen? Right? And I think what was conveyed in the beginning of this country, and I'll just read his statement during his farewell address on September 19th, 1796. You might know who this person is. Let me just make sure I'm up and you guys can hear me. I have already intimated to you the dangers in the state, with particular reference to founding them on geographical. Let me now take a more comprehensive view and warn you in the most solemn manner against the baneful effects of the spirit of the party generally. That's George Washington. Now, whether you like the guy or not, he saw it coming. All it takes is people getting together, and all of a sudden a group of people want to all of a sudden a group of people come together. They have an issue, something they want to support, whatever the case may be. And the 1%, the corporate elite 1%, whoa, what's this? Maybe we can, automatic. What is this? How can we profit from it? How can we turn it to us? The Tea Party is a great example. Justice Democrats, great example. More recently, is the Green Party. In my opinion, they're being compromised. Seriously, right? And it's really sad. So that's why let me see if I can share the screen and just show you the website real fast. There it is. Okay. And I think maybe you can still see me. Yeah, I hope so. But anyway, So let me scroll up. Now, move this over. I can't read it. So it is time to break from partisan barriers. You should be able, which you can without any party affiliation, write in whoever you want. You can do that in 8 states right now. You can do that in 8 states. What people don't realize, in many other states, you can actually, if you get the signatures, pay the fee, show your financial statements, et cetera, and then a few hoops you got to jump through, put that person on a ballot. And I think it's like 38, 39 states. There are a couple of states that are just kind of teetering right now. But if you go to non-party voters or non-party voter, or it comes up as, I also have it as Party Crashers. That's one of my favorites. Partycrashers.us or Vote Heard, get your vote. Now, Vote Heard for us is going to be that other segment. So we're just starting this, guys. I'm just letting you know. This is a GoDaddy site. I'm just putting the pieces together. I filed the nonprofit. I'm registered, right? Let me just show you. I have the paper, which I don't think you can read. Let's see if you can read this. It's not coming in. Anyway, so I've got it, right? Anyway, I have it. Got my EIN, okay, and I'm starting to put the pieces together to make this a movement for the 99%. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what your issue is, what you support, what you don't support. You should constitutionally, now there are 9 states, I believe, out of all those states, out of the 50 states, 51 could be DC, I guess, which is happening, is you can, they don't allow it at all. It's unconstitutional. They don't allow any participation from anybody unless you're registered or you're with a party and all the stipulations, et cetera. It's just not, you have to, you have to vote for the party platform that you fucking hate, or just know it's not going to do shit, and the stooge that supports it. The goal here is for you, and it should have always, and it's always been this way until a few decades ago, where we, and I'll just say it like this. The way it used to be, you used to go in, throw your piece of paper in a hat. You know, this is the guy I want to run the city, the mayor, be the sheriff, whatever the case may be. However, whatever other ways they did it, who knows? I mean, there's 1,000 other ways. But the point I'm getting to is that was democracy. No partisan party owned idiot that you're voting for. You can actually build your own candidate if you can write in your vote for that person. Some states it takes, I don't know, 2,000 signatures. Some states like California it takes, almost 200,000 because they've got, almost 20 million people, or 40 million people, 40 fucking million people. I used to live there. But I mean, you could understand the reasoning for more people. I get it. Now the FEC itself, and everybody knows this, they're fucked up. Look, across the board, and we know the ballot machines, we know that the way that the votes are counted, how they're transported, how they're regulated, how they're moved, it's all fucked up. It's just all tremendously wrong. This entire system that we have politically is a gigantic sham. The reason why I started this, and the reason why she thinks it's a pretty good idea, is because once they see us start to bring in our own candidates and get at the city, state, and federal level, hopefully to get people to be able to write in the people they want, they're going to start to turn and look and notice, what the fuck is this going on? You mean people are wanting to fucking not be with our party? Of course we don't. You don't want to hang out with us because we have fucking some idiot in our fucking platform and what we represent or give or offer or have doesn't do shit for you? Of course we don't. That's why we want to vote for our own fucking person. We want to write them in. I mean, I think the Jesse Ventura was on Jimmy Dore. And I think the last time that I think they actually spoke was Jimmy says there was a bunch of nuttiness in regards to COVID and a few other things and the system and elections and all this, the primaries. And Jesse said, this is kind of where I got the idea from. Jesse said, look, we should just write people in. We should be able to, I mean, if you mail in your ballot, you can write people in, just write them in. And then I started looking into it and I started digging a little deeper. And it's a lot easier than people think. It's like they don't tell you these. They're not going to fucking tell you can write people in your state or create your own candidate and say, hey, candidate, by the way, this is what you're going to fucking do. And we'll get a bunch of people behind you to make it happen. And you can take fucking Arkansas. No, I think Arkansas is fucked up. But let me. I think it is Arkansas that's fucked up. Let me just go back to this real quick. Wait, hold on. I can show you. There's a map on here, right? There's a map on the site. Scroll down. So it doesn't matter if you're for, a Green New Deal, a clean environment. If you fucking hate Bill Gates, if you don't like parties, you're sick of the fake news, you're sick of the blame game by these two fucking parties. If you want to keep your Second Amendment rights, if you want money out of politics, whatever your fucking jive is, whatever it is that you feel needs to happen, you should be able to vote somebody in. Write somebody in. So let me just show you real quick. The map on the site I just put that together. I had to buy a license for it, put it together. Just click here. It takes you to this page. And let's just say, so here's the states which are unconstitutional, in my opinion. I mean, it's pretty blatant. You should be able to vote or write a person. It's been like that for over 240 fucking years, or 200, at least over 200 years. And then all of a sudden that just doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. The parties have been compromised. It's just a matter of time. And I think, the movement for a people party, the People's Party is good. I really think they've got great intentions, but there are a few people that are still connected really severely to the Democratic Party, really severely. So it's just a matter of time before they get compromised, just like the Justice Democrats, just like the Tea Party. They actually had some good things. They were very liberal in a lot of things, and they wanted certain things, and I get it. I'm not saying the Tea Party was wonderful, but they had a movement until they were compromised. But if you go to this and you go to the states, the red states are where it's unconstitutional, where you can't vote. The yellow states are the states that you can get somebody right in, but it takes some work, some signatures, financial, what is that? I just said it earlier. Your finances or whatever that is, financial statements. And a few other things that you have to put together. Yeah, it's kind of rough, but you can still do it, right? And then the green states that I have highlighted here, Oregon, Wyoming, Iowa, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Vermont, New Jersey, Alabama. If you're in that state, you can fucking write it. You can just go there, right? You can just go there and you'll see this. You'll see this. You'll be able to write in, Mickey Mouse if you want. I mean, or Carl Sagan, whoever you want, right? Or Palpatine, AKA Joe Biden. I am the Senate, right? And that's fine. But you should be able to do that. That's your fucking right. So So check this site out. It's got some pretty decent information on it. If you see some spelling errors or grammar, let me know. I'm okay. I am totally and absolutely fine with corrective criticism, right? And if you don't like something on there, you think it's stupid and useless, tell me. If you want to help, let me know. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for donations. We're looking for people to help us bring this up, because it is important for us to have this right back. And then our next stage is vote heard, where your vote is heard. And it's a process that Stevie brought up the other day, I think is brilliant, is making sure your vote is actually heard. It's actually documented. It's actually used to whatever person or party person or whoever you want it to be. But that's basically the way it works. Check out most of the information. If it needs to be done, just please let us know. Again, it's in the infant stage. In other words, no, it's not even that. It's in the conceptual stage. That's how new it is. And it's taking a lot of time to put this together, but if I don't do it correctly, it's not going to work. So we've got to make sure that the baby steps, infants, baby steps, we have to make sure systematically it's done correctly, so that at one point we can have the non-party voters amendment. The non-party voters amendment, meaning that you, whatever state you're in, you can write in whoever you want. Okay, if you get the signatures or pay for the fees or whatever the fucking case may be. But and after that, we're working on vote heard, which is making sure, and there's plenty of nobody's really doing what I'm doing, by the way. I've checked dozens of Represent Us and We Are Change, not We Are Change, but Sunrise Movement, all these people moving from everybody's still about party. Nobody wants to be their own fucking party, because you can't think for yourself. And that's the thing we need to start doing. You're smart enough, you're intelligent enough, you have the critical thinking skills, and if you're not doing the due diligence, then maybe you shouldn't be voting. And if you want to go with the party person, fine, write them in or check that box. But if you know there's somebody out there that really believes in the interest and wants to give you more joy and less pain, then write that fucker in. That should be your is your constitutional right. I digress. Thank you very much. Hopefully you guys will pay attention to that. Take a look at it. If you want to help out, just let us know. Put it in the comments. There's a way to contact. There's a Facebook. There's a Twitter. That is the actual website. There's more to come, but it's like I said, it's in the doing stage, and we're going to get it moving to the infantile, whatever, the baby stage, and then hopefully we'll get it moving to where everybody has their rights to fucking vote for whoever they want for, without having to register for a particular party or vote for their platform or bow to their political fucking stooge. I mean, what you saw last night is the greatest indicator that you need to be as part of the U.S. voting republic. You definitely need to be held accountable for your own vote. It's you. It should be just you, right? And whoever you want to pick is up to you. That should be America. All right, that's my vision. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going for. Stevie had some things she wanted to say, and I'm going to digress again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is where a lot of things are going wrong, is because, these political parties are being created, and then we're supposed to pick out of the platforms that they give us what we want, right? So you could either go with the Democrat or the Republican, which is pretty much one and the same, right? Because that's all we're given. We have no power. We don't tell them what to do. They're telling us what our options are. They're telling us what our options are. No, we're going to tell them what their options are. It's about taking back the power that has been, slowly, systematically drained from us. it's about actually getting to organize around policies, because right now we are organizing ourselves around parties that don't represent us. We keep picking from the lesser of two evils. That's not how this works. There's policies that the majority of Americans agree on. Medicare for all. That's all the math that I had up on here the other day. That's what that was about. The majority of Americans support that, but only a fraction of the Democrats do. Only a fraction of the Republicans do. Only a fraction of these people. But if we actually had a candidate that said 100%, and we knew based on their record, that they didn't work for Big Pharma, or, and then say, yeah, I support this. No, they have a lifelong, record of doing the right thing, working towards this goal, right? Talking out about this stuff. And that, yes, okay, so we're going to vote for you. And then know that once we cast that vote, that it was actually going to be counted the way that we voted. So, I mean, but the thing is like, well, you know what? Yeah, he's not really the candidate that I like. Well, I'm going to vote for the guy that I think that I can change his mind on. People arguing about, oh, well, we can change Biden's mind. We can change Trump's mind. They're malleable. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But the thing is, that's because we're, basing ourselves off of team colors, team red, team blue, team green. It's not how any of this works. We tell them, this is what we're standing on. This is what the majority of Americans want. We're going to go and cast our vote. And then we're working on a way of creating a system to where after you vote that we can verify it and make sure that it was counted. The one problem that I'm coming up against on that is the fact that a lot of these states have been passing laws, West Virginia included, that if you take a picture of your ballot, it makes your vote invalid. So if you get proof of how you voted, it becomes invalid. We should always have proof of that, and we should have a way of verifying that. So we're working on a system right now, trying to work out the kinks to where, yes, after you go and vote for your candidate, just send us the information. We'll, make sure that it's done, transparency, and to protect people's identity and their vote and all that stuff. But yeah, so yes, we are in the beginning phases of this, but I think that we've got some pretty good groundwork to where we actually have a say over things, to where it's not just people telling us what our options are. That's America fights for freedom all the time. Oh yeah, we're killing people over in the Middle East because freedom, we got to protect our freedom. And what freedom? What freedom? The freedom to vote for whoever they tell you to vote for? This is ridiculous. The whole thing is insanity. The fact that they even had a debate between these two people is crazy, because it seems to me like they agree on everything. It seems to me like they agree that immigrants don't count as people, Black people don't count as people, poor people don't count as people. The only people that count as people are the stockholders. That's it. Point blank. Point blank. So yes, I do believe that we should have more freedom. We should be trusted with our own lives and our own future. That we should have a direct say on that and not depend on other people to provide for us and tell us what the truth is and to give us scraps after they're done feasting. This shit is long overdue. And we don't have the time to sit there and say, well, we're going to reform the Democratic Party, if that was even possible at all. We don't have time for any of that. This is about direct action, going out there, voting, having your vote verified, taking the necessary steps to make sure that these people are held accountable, right? To make sure that all the votes are actually counted and heard, to make sure that they don't get to tell us how to live. They don't get to hurt us anymore. They don't get to take away the things that we need to survive. It's not uniquely American to work 3 jobs. And that was George W. Bush that said that. Obama didn't fix that. Trump hasn't fixed that. I don't want to be uniquely American if that's what it means. That I have to work 3 jobs and not have health insurance. you know, and then I have to pay for daycare and all this stuff out of my pockets and not have health insurance and have to show up to work when I get the plague because I can't afford to call off because they'll fire me if I call off. No, we have put up with far too much for way too long. And the way to do this is to organize as far as, you know, voting. Yes, that's great. But this, it cannot be the only thing because it has to be met with physical action, which is don't give them your labor, don't give them your money. You know, that's the only thing, that's everything that they do. And I say this every time. The only thing they do, the only reason why they do what they do is because of their stock prices, right? What puts more money in their bank account? Their offshore bank account. That's the only reason why they do anything that they do. So if we're going to motivate these people to do something, I would say maybe, yes, vote. That's important. But boycott, strike. We can't keep giving these people our labor. A general strike. Just say, you know what? You don't even have to tell your boss that you're striking. Just call in sick that day. Just call in sick. Isn't it weird? Everybody got sick all at once. I mean, it is a pandemic. If anybody can call off sick, it would be at this point in time. So, you know, just shut it down. But I mean, Jeff Bezos is how much richer? Millions, billions of dollars richer since the beginning of this quarantine?
80, 90 million.
So they're making bank and we keep having less and less. Less and less. And that's one of the things they talked about in the debate was, oh, well, Obama created jobs. What kind of jobs? Did he replace the good, high-paying jobs with benefits, with part-time minimum wage jobs with no benefits? And you're going to brag about that? You're going to brag about making people poorer? I mean, it's not about us. They're not even, I don't even think they're even trying to come after our vote anymore. It doesn't mean anything. It's just all dog whistles to, you know, to their donors. But let's go to the chat. Oh, I just want to say, you know, thanks for everybody that's watching and you know, participating tonight. I'm going to go back through after this live stream and go back through the live chat and read everything, and I'll touch back up on it later. But I'm a little out of practice on having a guest on here, so I'm like trying to take care of the technical stuff, and I'm missing big chunks of the chat. But you know, trying to be fine's here, independent outsider. Danielle Values, who else? Austin Zappas.
Welcome. Aloha.
So yeah, I'm definitely glad. I mean, oh, we need critical thinking, propaganda. OG Johnson, man, I haven't seen you in ages. Michael Mathern. Yes, yeah, hybrid regime. I need to do like a specific show on that stuff. Because yeah, you are definitely spot on with that. When I started looking it up. Who else? Britt McKinney, Peter Moran. I'm probably butchering everybody's names, but thank you everybody for watching. Dax is here.
Nice.
The DNC and RNC would rather you write in that vote for a third party that is not part of your unparty. Their biggest fear is 5% or bust. Yeah, exactly. They always find a way to just skirt around that. No matter how popular that third party person is, it ain't it a shame. They always come just short of that. It's just crazy how that works out. Just crazy.
Howard's like 0.0000000.
Howard, oh please, don't even get me started on him.
So let me just read something real quick while you're reading that.
No, go ahead.
And I'll
I'm
show
trying to
it.
get caught up on chat.
Right. Here we go. Hey, I'm back. Hi, guys and gals. All right, let me share the screen, show you a bit of information. So I did a little research, did some calculating. In the past few general elections, election voting cycles that have been roughly 150 million U.S. registered voters, give or take a few. Usually, it's usually hovers around that 150 million mark. Registered voters. 31% of Americans identify as Democrats. 25%. Now it's like 27, I think, with Republicans, and 40% are independents. Independents are huge. They always try to grab those independents, man. It's like candy. They it's, in my opinion, independents, I just think they're a different breed. I think they're a breed of people that just get it. They're just like, no, we're just going to be independent because you guys are fucking idiots. And we are going to make a more calculated, critical thinking type assessment of what's going on and vote or not vote. And most of them don't. So, and 40% is independent. 46% of the Republican voters support Medicare for all. I think there's a lot more nowadays, that especially at this time, they support Medicare for all. Alongside 88% of Democrats, of course, and 68% of independents that want Medicare for all. Here's the coverage we're demanding: a single public program, no patchwork. Solution Obama sold us on, fucking asshole. Comprehensive coverage, that's full comprehensive universal health care. Let's just say that's what it is. Full comprehensive universal health care with no copay. That's what basically everybody's rooting for or want, right? And I'll pay an extra 20, 30 bucks a month for that. For fuck, how's that going to hurt me? I'm covered. I got dental, I got vision, I got fucking health care, right? And then, so if you listen, let's break down the numbers, all right? So that's, if you do the numbers come down to about 46.5 million Democrats, 37.5 million Republicans, independents about 60 million, and other 6 million Green Party, I guess. By the way, there's only about maybe 150 to maybe 150,000 Green Party registered voters. It's just, I tried to look, guys, gals and guys, I tried my hardest because I was a part of the Green Party, and I tried my hardest to get them to do certain things that I felt were vitally important to growing the party, but they just don't want to. They for some reason they hate fucking Jesse Ventura. I mean, for fuck's sake, are you guys trying to grow a party or trying to demolish it? If you're trying to demolish a party, you did well. You did a great job. You picked Howard Hawkins, a guy that during Black Lives Matter, right, rigged and colluded with the U.S. Green Party of the United States to take away the primary from Dario Hunter. And there's plenty of proof to prove that's correct. Plenty of it's. Talk to Chad Wilson, talk to William Pounds, and a few other people out there that know the case. So we got 17.250 million Republican voters that support M for All. That's a lot of fucking people. 40 million, over about 40.5 million people. Dems vote support M for All. Independent voters, 40 million, right? So let's just say with all those numbers put together, it's about it's actually 2/3. I got this wrong. Or 100 million fucking people in the United States, registered voters, want Medicare for all. They want to be taken care of, that, and that should be their right. I know fucking Biden says it's a right. It's bull. Fuck him. He's so full of shit on that. He is a fucking such a sickly, fucking disgusting creature. And Trump's not far away. I know he's just a fifth grader mentality with a bully complex sociopath. Like somebody in the chat said, they're all fucking sociopaths, and narcissists and just sick, fucking disgusting creatures. They're not even monsters. They're slime. They're fucking slime. So with all that being the case, you can't pick what you want. That's why just write them in. You should be able to. Just look at the information. When you do go to non-party voters, just look at the information. You'll see what the processes are and how it works. It's a lot easier than people are distracted from. Right now, it's all about party, political party, but that's not the case. That is not the case. The case that needs to be said is that you should and are with many states able to vote fucking for your goddamn person that you believe is going to do what's necessary for you. What's necessary for you, right? So again, all you need to do, oh shit, what the fuck is that? Oh, I signed out. Okay, that's the wrong fucking, okay, hold on. All right, I could have took you in the wrong direction there. Just give me a second. Let me get back to her. Crapola. I got so many things up on my fucking computer right now. It's just crazy. Share screen. Here we go. There we go. I'm clicking the correct one. Here. There we go. So if you go to non-party voters, right, and you go right in to the map, a part of the map I told you about, and you click, right, it says right there, write in aloud, right there as you hover over it. But if you click it, it'll bring you into it. Click it again, which I should indicate, and I'm still working on it, right? It'll take you to Ballotpedia. We'll show you the process. You just write them in this state, just write them fucking in, right? And it's very, 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 very simple. Now, if you go back, so just hover over the state, click 2 or 3 times to get where you need to be to find out what's going on. But that's step 1, right? Actually, step 1, like I've always said, is you've got to, and you have to. We've got to get out on the streets, people. We've got to grab as many of the 99% as we can. And we need to let and try to educate. And this is hard. This is the hardest part, is getting people that have been fooled, like I said, paraphrase from Mark Twain, getting people to believe they've been fooled and convince them of that, because it's tough. It's fucking tough. So that's stage number 1. And then getting them out on the street together with you. I don't care if they want to bring their guns. I don't give a shit, as long as we're moving in the same direction. You know, getting money out of politics, being able to write our votes in, you know, and getting rid of the fucking 2-party oligarchy, getting rid of the TPO, the 2-party oligarchy, and their fucking pimps, the CE1s, which are the corporate elite 1%ers, and getting them to pay attention. They're going to do whatever it takes to stop this from happening. Fuck yeah, they're going to. But it's going to put a little fear of God in their fucking heads. It's going to put a little fear in them. They're going to go, wait a second. They're not obeying us anymore. They want to go rogue. Yeah, we all want to go rogue. We all want to go rogue. We don't want to fucking, oh, I'm rogue because I don't like this one candidate and this party. Bullshit. That does nothing. That fucking does nothing. It's baloney. So I'm saying to everybody, it's very important. Help us build this movement. Help me build this movement. It's not about me. It's fucking, look, I'm not Nick Braun. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about you getting what you want because you're your own fucking party. You're your own boss. You vote for who you want to, whether some party wants all of it or none of it or a little bit of what you think is going to work for you. No, you want what you want and you go out there and you get what you fucking want because that's your right. Period. It's not about party leaders or party platforms or party stooge. It's about what you want. Be your own party boss. You're the boss of your own party. It's that simple. All right, hand the mic back over to the fantastic and wonderful Stevie with Red Economics.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all comes down to, I think that the majority of Americans are actually pretty capable. I know that the really horrible, dumb, terrible, bad ones are the ones getting the attention. They're the ones that they put on the news, right? It's always about Florida man. What I'm saying? Like, Florida man gets all the attention, but not, Florida isn't made up of Florida man. So, it's just that those are the ones that make the news. Those are the ones that they say they use that as a way to discredit us when we're the ones with the credibility. When you look at it, the majority of Americans say, you know what, y'all ain't got nothing to offer me. This whole thing is a scam. The majority of Americans, it's only a small fraction of them that still think that there's a Santa Claus, that still think that the Democrats are going to save them, or the Republicans are protecting them from terrorists. Like, it is, yeah. That's the reality of it. And they try to convince us that we're crazy, that we're alone, that we're the only ones that think this way, right? We're not. We're not. We are actually the majority of people that just say, hey, man, it shouldn't be this fucking hard to live. If I go to a job and sacrifice the majority of my life to make sure that this company makes millions and billions of dollars, I should be compensated for my time and my work, that I should be treated like a human being. It has now become radical to say that you want to be treated as a human being. That's it. You don't want to be treated better than other people. You don't want to keep people down like they do. We just want to be treated fairly. And that is now a radical opinion. Both parties agree on that. Both parties agree on that. All the parties agree on that. And that's the problem that I do have with the Movement for a People's Party, is just like, I don't need another group telling me what I need or what they're going to do for me. I want to have a person that's going to, they should be our assistants, that we should be able to have the freedom to go out there and have the access to the information, to be able to talk to each other about, an exchange of ideas and facts, and to be able to brainstorm together and come up with what we want and what's good for us.
You want to work for us?
But they keep telling us what we need. They keep telling us what we want. And it should be the other way around. They are called public servants. I know that they don't use that phrase much anymore. They go by politicians, but first and foremost, they should be public servants. And that is something that they've forgotten. I don't know if they ever learned that meaning. I don't know if they ever knew the meaning of that, because at no point during America's history has everyone been represented. They tell us that, taxation equals representation, that if you pay taxes, that you should be represented. Well, you know what? I'm not. I pay taxes. Undocumented immigrants, they pay taxes. The Black community, ADOS, they pay taxes. Homeless people, they pay taxes. They might not have an income tax, even though a lot of people that are homeless do have jobs. Even if you don't have a job and you're homeless, you're still going in and you're buying food at some point or whatever. You're paying a tax. Now you're represented. But nobody goes to the homeless shelters and tries to get their votes, do they? They don't count as people.
We are.
They don't count as people. None of these people that don't have a donation to contribute, they don't count as people. So did you make a donation? Yeah. That's where you stand. That's where I stand. And I don't want to tell people to vote. I don't want to tell people how to vote if you do choose to do it. I think that most people have the capability of figuring that out for themselves. I don't need a babysitter. I don't need somebody, a parental figure to tell me what I can and can't do, what's good for me or not. And the fact that they think that so many people, are incapable of this, basic human function just goes to show how much they failed people. If that is true, then they have failed us as a government, because that's part of their job, is to make sure that people have access to those things. If the majority of Americans are picking up the National Enquirer and believe in everything that they see in there, that Bat Boy actually exists, then they have failed in their job to educate people on how to learn. They failed us. If that is, the norm in our society, it's insane. But it gets put back on us. Like, hey, there's some people out there that believe some crazy things. It's all your fault. Like, they had nothing to do with it. They decide how much money we make. They decide, the health care that we get or don't get. They decide what jobs we have access to. They decide on everything, whether or not we're allowed to leave our house, whether or not we get an education, how many wars we're in. That they get to decide everything that dictates our life. And yet, we're the ones to blame when things go wrong. So which is it? Either let me have the ability to screw my life up myself, or shut up. Just shut up. Stop blaming me. Take credit for your failures. Which is it? I think everybody has that right to screw things up for themselves if they want. It's a learning experience. I've made my fair share of mistakes. That's why we ask people, for their input when we're doing things. No human being is infallible. So to act like we're always the one that's in the wrong and they're always the one that's in the right, I mean, what are the chances that that's how it would be? If you flip a coin so many times, it's going to be heads and tails. If it's always heads, chances are that game's rigged. You got a double-sided coin that is rigged in a certain person's favor. Just like, the election rigging never helps the left, does it? Never helps you, never helps me. Doesn't help anybody that actually needs anything. What are the odds of that? It's so weird. It's so weird how that works out. Just weird, right? Yeah. It's so messed up. And it's weird that we're sitting here, that we're saying these things and reassuring ourselves that we're not insane, that we're not alone, when the majority of Americans think like this. Gaslighting, propaganda, power, it's just all so wrong. And we're coming up with concrete ways to actually do something about this. Like I said, protest, strike, boycott, vote, all these things. When they attack us, they never hit us in one way. They don't just take away our vote. They take away our vote. They hit us on healthcare. They raise the pricing of houses. They don't raise the minimum wage. They have a systematic attack on all sides of the things that we need. They cut off our resources. They cut us off from communication. I mean, there's people out there that can't even say the country that they're from, or else YouTube will kick them off the platform. Will end their live stream if they just talk about what country they're from. That's it. I mean, that's where we're at. That's it. And it should not be this way. It's not crazy to disagree with that. It's not crazy to say that, yes.
They want you to think that.
Yeah, they do. And I get so worked up about this because I grew up here in West Virginia.
They didn't
And-
ever say that.
What?
They didn't ever say it's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no. James was just saying, it's not crazy to think that way, but they make you feel like that, right?
Yeah.
They make you feel like you're the only one that notices these things. Like, I'm walking around and I'm looking and I'm like, why are all the chemical companies lined up along the river? Like, you don't see them out in the middle of nowhere. They're lined up along the Canal River. Why is that? Why is that? And you bring it up and they're like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. When, the governor during the MCHM crisis was taking pictures with the Chemical Alliance Zone, which was, a lobbyist group basically. And he signed the picture saying, your friend, Governor Tomlin. And we are shocked. Oh, we're just shocked that he didn't do anything to help the people, that he actually just let them poison us, did no kind of, health, evaluations after. They're not monitoring us for the health effects of NCHM and strip PPH in our water. They're not doing those because they don't want to know the answers. We're the guinea pigs. You're the guinea pigs. That poison doesn't stay in West Virginia. That flows downriver. The poison that they pump, into California, between Fukushima, their oil rigs, the smog in the air, that doesn't just stay there. It doesn't just, the stuff that was leaking out from Fukushima, that didn't stay in Japan. It actually crossed borders and ended up in California. So, we act like, well, West Virginia is a shithole. What can you do? And say that that's it. Like, it doesn't affect the rest of America or the rest of the world. Joe Manchin gets to decide on what you have. Joe Manchin gets to decide on who lives and who dies in other countries. He has the blood of civilians, innocent men, women, and children that had nothing to do with anything are dead because of the way that Joe Manchin voted. And you don't get to have health care because the Democrat Party that they say is so great, he's not with them. He's on Trump's train, just like the rest of Democrats. It's just, I'm tired of people thinking and saying and acting like this is some kind of radical behavior, some kind of radical idea. And Trump and Biden both will have nothing to do with us. The majority of Americans, they will not represent us. No party is going to represent us. Only we are going to do that. Mainstream media isn't going to represent us. None of them. And the Movement for a People's Party, I think, there's a lot of good people that are supporting it. I love Abby Martin. She's one of the people that inspired me to do this show. But at the same time, I don't think that the MPP is the answer. I don't think having somebody else decide on what we get to have is the answer. We need to be strong enough to be able to take care of ourselves. This is like which
we can be. It's not that hard.
Yeah, we're treated like children, and we're not. And it's it's not up to them to tell us what we can do. That's up for us. If we want to fail, then we're going to fail. That should be up to us. At least I'd like that option instead of letting them fail and getting promoted for it. So anyway, we're going to wrap things up now. I think I've already, ranted and raved and repeated myself about 5 billion times. But oh yeah, I'm mad as hell. But yeah, it's just,
check out our site, and help us out.
I don't believe in begging for stuff, and neither should you. I think none of us should have to beg.
We shouldn't even have these conversations.
Yeah. You can only ask so many times before it becomes begging. And, we've been asking for things for 100 years. Parties are not the answer.
That's what they want you to.
Yeah. You think that's the only way. They want you to think that's the only way, Democrat or Republican, but that's just not, there's other options.
Or whatever party
We have other options. Or whatever party's fashionable at the moment. All right. So I just, yeah, please go ahead and jump in.
Hi, Al, give me a second. I got to show you something. Remember I talked about the fabricated post that I did that had never been fact checked by the Facebook independent fact checkers? I found it. God, that was September 18th. September fucking 18th. That is so crazy. Watch. So, and I just wrote this in there on my Facebook, and I copied and pasted and put on my Twitter, other non-party voters Twitter. By the way, this is the side effects of methamphetamine, and it has nothing to do with COVID. Nothing, and is completely fabricated. But for some odd reason, it's still up. Let that sink in. So here's what it says. COVID-19 and coronavirus can also lead to various side effects as well as brain deterioration. These side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, dry mouth, and bad breath. I mean, this is a fucking meth. This is straight out of a meth lab, right? Anxiety and depression. Research reports ongoing structural brain alterations with intensive white matter changes and in all lobes are rare, and the few examinations supposed COVID-19, I just replaced the word, I replaced the name, to mainly affect the cortex and the hippocampal, thymatic, and the hypothalamic structures. That's fucking bullshit. But they're getting me on the facts that they proved that fucking Joe Biden called my daughter and me fucking stupid right to our faces. And if motherfuckers, this has got to stop. So we look, it's not about just bitching and complaining, because everybody's doing that. I mean, I'm hearing Jimmy, I'm hearing Kyle, I'm hearing Mike, I'm hearing fucking Jamal, I'm hearing Tim Black, I'm hearing everybody report just the same shit, different fucking day, over and over and over. And sorry, let me get me back on. And I'm just reporting that it's like fucking 2015, 16, 17, all over again. We need to tackle what's happening, the fascism, the subrogation, the tyranny that's really happening right in front of our faces and over our faces. That's part of it too. There's so many things. It's a lot of fucking work. I got to tell you, there's some work to be done. But the biggest reason I do this, and Stevie's the same way, saving the planet and all of its inhabitants, all of it, everybody. I don't care if you're a shithead, asshole, whatever the fuck you are. I want your child, your children, and therefore there and on and on and on to be able to live and have a good life. 80s, for me, I'm older. The 80s were bombed. The 90s were pretty radical. It's when the 2000s came around, they started getting fucking weird. Now in the 21st century now, 2020 has got to be the most heinous, insidious, disgusting fucking year in our nation's history. And this should be the gigantic red flag that should poke out for light years to see, for aliens passing by. What the fuck is going on with these idiots? We're all being easily manipulated and obedient and all this other shit. I mean, look at the back of me. Again, these are cardboard fucking figures. They put cardboard, it's like, we get it. There's nobody at the fucking stadium or at the arena. We get it. But you want to put a fucking, it's like, oh, that's going to help us. That's going to, there are high school football games with dozens and dozens or hundreds in mostly the Republican states that are having football games and everything's fine. Right? There's so much going on. I mean, it's really sad. There's so many people out there that just haven't dug as deep as you or I or many of us. I mean, Stevie, she digs deeper than deep. And me, I'm fucking, I've hit oil too many times. The oil I've hit is just bad. And that's our goal. Our goal is take action, do the necessary things we need to do. It's time to take control of our government back, our legislators, judiciaries, and executives. It is time to make sure that we are heard. We're here. Horton hears a who. It's that simple. Ants don't serve fucking grasshoppers. Anyway, check out the site. We're going to add the vote herd, probably make another site for that, so that the voting structure, the machines, everything is fair, more accountable. I know there's a lot of shit going on out there, and everybody's trying to do their part. But if we can all come together and be unpartisan, we might get somewhere. But if the Democrats would support them or the Republicans support them, I can guarantee you there's an agenda down the road for them, and it's going straight to the CE1s. Anyway, thank you very much, you guys, for coming. I'm going to let Stevie close up the show. Thank you so much for the chats and everything. It's just great to have people on listening. She's just an amazing person. I am the luckiest man on the face of the fucking earth. I'll tell you right now. All right, aloha. I'm gonna say aloha. I'm gonna go. Mahalo nui aloha. Thank you all very much.
Well, I think that went pretty well. For some reason, I was just so nervous when I first started. I wanted to make sure everything went so good. I was like, I think presidential debate. But I mean, I just, when it's just me, I'm so relaxed. But I wanted to make sure that Jimmy's first time on here went pretty good. So I was like super obsessing over every little thing. But I'm really glad that everybody was here. And like I said, I'm going to go back through the chat and make sure, because I know I missed a lot. And I really don't like to miss anything in chat because there's so many great ideas. Michael brought up, thank God, Michael's been, keeping me on point with the hybrid regime and reminded me about that, which I really do appreciate, because it is really interesting that I'm going to have to do like a specific thing on that and talk about that. But and Dan, I know you I can't find your comment. I saw something where you were talking about the Last American Vagabond, but then when I clicked on it, I couldn't get to your comment to see what I love that something guy. About Last American Vagabond and Whitney Webb.
They're awesome.
But it wouldn't take me to the comment to where I could find the link. So, if you could if you don't mind, I just found out that they were holding my comments back. I'm finding comments from a year ago on YouTube that apparently I had to approve. I just want people to say what they want. I'm not the arbiter of free speech. You want to come on and talk shit, that's fine. Many people choose to do that. So but for some reason all the good, helpful, useful comments were held back, maybe because they we're talking about SYRIA that I'm not allowed to talk about. But yeah, I just want to say thank you everybody for the input, and if you have any additional ideas or criticisms,
help us with our movement,
or help us with non-party voters or party crashers, just check out the website. You can reach us there. You can leave a comment. You can go over to James's channel, which is Monotalk. He streams. I join him a lot on his live streams. I got kind of lazy and didn't really do mine. I just kept joining in his. So, I mean, I was trying to work full time and all that, but still, whenever he does a live stream, I'll try to jump in there. So, yeah. So thanks again. Thanks for watching, and I will catch y'all next time.